I've been going on the PiKVM. Have you ever used one of those?
I have not, no.
So I've used PiKVM before. I had it on a Pi Zero, and that quit working some time ago. So I think it was the board because the Wi-Fi stopped working. So I bought a couple more Pi Zero 2Ws, set it up, and with the Pi Zero 2W, you could do tail scale on it. It's pretty good. I got a couple of extra of the HDMI modules, and I've got a little 1.5-inch OLED screen, so it'll give you the IP address if you need it. So that's what I'm just building up at the moment. It works pretty good.
Do you guys remember that project that I did where I was trying to use a headset with a Raspberry Pi where it was just piping the USB to my desktop so that I could walk around?
No.
I did it on this show.
I want to say yes.
Yeah, but yeah, that was basically using the Raspberry Pi Zero as a pass-through, and it worked really well with like the keyboard and mouse. So I could easily like switch between devices that were calling it, but there was a little bit too much latency for it to work well with the headset. So
was that PiKVM too?
It's the same concept, except I was doing it. I wasn't using somebody else's code to do it. I was just setting up that USB pass-through. But it's the same idea.
And what were you using it for, Fat Boy? The PiKVM?
So I work away quite a lot. So when I'm away, I have one on my server. So I'm going to have a couple now, just on a couple of servers, and you can just get terminal access. You can, if your machine's completely bought, you can reboot it. You can get into the BIOS. You can do everything. It's pretty good for remote access. A commercial one will be several $100s for a commercial one. You build one out of, say, a Pi Zero, probably get all together for about $80 all in.
How do you connect it?
It's a little different than my idea, yeah.
How do you connect it to your server?
So you can either connect to HDMI. So the HDMI, you connect the HDMI into the dongle, into like an expansion board, which then goes into the camera port of the Pi. So then you've got the video coming through. You go onto it gives you a web page, so you see the video feed, and then you can plug the USB. You can connect the USBs up from the Pi into your target machine, and it'll emulate the keyboard and mouse. But it'll also emulate a CD drive as well, so you can upload an ISO, reboot a machine, and start installing from CD in a way. It works pretty good.
I need to get that working because that.
So essentially, it's USB to HDMI. So your server is outputting HDMI to the USB of the Pi, and then the Pi is allowing you to interface with the server, right?
Well, you can there's two types of HDMI. You can either use it with a HDMI dongle for USB. Right. That's got quite a bit of latency on it, but I've got it as the
camera,
as going straight into the camera port. But then the Pi Zero can do USB on the go, what they call OTG. So that can then emulate the keyboard and mouse. But it works. It works pretty. It's pretty cool. Pretty good how it works.
And that connects. Okay, so the emulation, the keyboard and mouse emulation comes from via the on-the-go port, right? The
yeah,
OTG
that's correct.
port.
So you've got your micro USB.
Yeah.
So you connect micro USB to the USB-A port on your target machine, and it'll actually, if it's just a Pi Zero W, you can power it up through that USB port as well.
Nice.
So if your server's not got
Hey
HDMI,
Joe, you're loud.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Let me
if
mute.
your server's not got HDMI, I've got VGA to HDMI adapter as well.
Right.
So you can go straight through. But yeah, it fits in a case like a couple of inch, just a bit bigger than the Pi Zero, and powered from the USB port, and it's doing data through the USB port for the keyboard and mouse. Pretty good, pretty nice little project. It's on GitHub.
Cool. I put a link to that in the show notes. PiKVM. I wonder if there's a similar something for like the other boards, like Orange Pi or Radshaw or something like that.
They have a Discord channel, so where people, you can do unofficial builds. It's actually built on Arch, so the guy's done it on Arch, and but there are other builds. People have tried it on other machines, but the main one is the Pi. What he aims is ISO's at.
So this on the PiKVM page, they are going over IP.
Yeah, it's over IP, and they're actually even selling their own hardware on Kickstarter, which is kind of cool.
I see that.
And the beauty, if you link it up with Tailscale, you can have the target machine on any network in the world. Yeah, you can be anywhere.
That's right.
That would be crazy. Okay.
And so let me see. Do they? Okay, United States, they have it at the Pi Shop. If you want to buy a box that's already made, it's $384.
Yikes.
Yeah, that has a lot of other stuff on it as well. So if you've got an ATX machine, you can tie it into the motherboard, and you can do force reboots and resets and all other things.
Okay,
nice.
But as I say, if you just build it with a Pi Zero, or you can build it with a Pi 2 and a Pi 3 as well. But then you need a Pico. I think it's a Pico what they use just to emulate the, because that's not got the OTG capabilities. But the best thing to do it on is either a Pi 4 or a Pi Zero.
Yeah, I do have some Picos, but I don't, like you said, it doesn't have the OTG on it. Maybe I could find this for one of my other small boards, like my other single board computers. I don't have.
I think you could set most of that up yourself, really. I mean,
really?
As long as you had some way to output the HDMI to either USB or a camera output, some type of video input on your device, then you could do most of it. I mean, there's all the other stuff that already exists to do the HID style device from like a Pi or anything else. So I'm pretty sure that you could do it with the knowledge that you have, and probably the hardware that you have on hand.
I'll have to look into this weekend. This would be a neat little project.
The top right corner has a DIY get started, and it's
I see that. Yeah.
GitHub, and just talks about what you need. Raspberry Pi 234 or 02W. Full HD video using advanced HDMI to CSI bridge or USB dongle. Extra low latency video. So, looks like you can do most of it, yeah.
It says 02W, but you said just a regular 0 will work, right?
Well,
it says 02W.
They used to have the 0, but they don't do the architecture for it now. They don't build it for that anymore.
If you're gonna do like the 0, the non-W, like, I mean, you're still gonna have to connect it to a network somehow to be able to get anything done.